What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And today, this isn't actually really a minifigure showcase because, of course, you guys can see what it is. It's Man-Thing and Werewolf by Night. But of course, I'm going to talk about the episode because that's kind of what it is. I'm going to be doing these more often, like when Black Panther Wakanda Forever comes out. I'm going to talk about the movie, the TV special for Guardians of the Galaxy. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So, it was pretty good overall. It was good, and I'll talk about what I like more about it. But comparing it to the Disney Plus shows, this was really good. I feel like they did a great job, and I wanted it to kind of be a mini series, but I really liked the TV special. I wanted more at the end of it. I was like, I wonder where it's going to go and where they are, and I wanted more, which is great because usually at the very end of a show, it's really not that good. Like Loki and Moon Knight, I really was like, yes, please, I want more. However, She-Hulk, I was really excited for a She-Hulk show. And I was really excited to hear that, hey, they're gonna make She-Hulk show. It's honestly one of my least favorite shows. It is literally a cringe fest. It is so cheesy. It's so Disney Channel, and it's cute how it's like trying to break the fourth wall, but it's doing it in the worst way possible. And this is honestly like one of the worst like Disney things I've ever seen. It's so bad. And Miss Marvel started dragging me downhill as well, because like it was just Miss Marvel and She-Hulk, man, they really were just like ugh. And then when she goes back in time to like Miss Marvel, when she goes back in time to meet her aunt or whatever, then the show started to get interesting. But other than that, it was like really just like oof, this is like all right. Miss Marvel's all right, but like I think the other Disney Plus shows like What If and stuff like that, the ones I haven't talked about, all those were okay. But the reason why I like this a lot was because it was focused on a random universe, all right? There were no Captain America, there were no Iron Man, there were no Hulk. This was its own story, and that made me a bit happy. The reason why is because if we go in She-Hulk, like you're making fun of Captain America's butt, cool, whatever. We care, it's funny, and then you do it again. It's hilarious, cool. And then you make Iron Man jokes, and then you go to Miss Marvel and you're making like just Captain Marvel jokes, and you're just like shoving Captain Marvel in your face. And this was one of the things that was like, okay, this is cool because Marvel isn't shoving in my face. Like, cool. Khonshu, that's awesome. Like it was just like, it was its own story with Marvel characters in it. And it was just like, there were no Iron Man, there were none of that stuff. And if it was in there, I didn't really get it because it was so quick. So that's what I loved about it, is because it was its own separate world, and that's what I liked a lot about it. And because the new Marvel shows and probably the Guardian special too is going to talk about Thor, and just it was its own story. Man-Thing was one of my personal favorites, or Ted, if you're being kind to him. But he was a really great character. And it's crazy because he's actually a ripoff of Swamp Thing, which there's a bunch of, we're getting into the ripoff characters, if you can see, and we're gonna start getting into the real ripoff characters because they're part of the Marvel universe. So of course, Man-Thing, however, is honestly like one of the best because he has like a really cool superpower, which first off, so Man-Thing only exists just for the multiverse because, of course, he's the guardian of the Nexus of Realities, which means that he can teleport anywhere in the multiverse, and since he's a good guy, he'll probably be on the Avengers side to defeat Kang. So, of course, his whole thing in this show is, of course, to introduce him for the multiverse, which is a very clever way to do that, if I'm being honest. And good on you, Marvel. And yeah. Why they introduced Man-Thing? Werewolf by Night, however, like, is just like Werewolf by Night. We're probably gonna get a Moon Knight fight eventually, but of course, Man-Thing is made for the multiverse, which kind of you're gonna know where this is going probably with Man-Thing. If you do know that, if you don't though, then of course have a good time. But once again, I see what you do in Marvel, and it's cool because they didn't talk about the Nexus at all in this, which is amazing. They didn't talk about it at all, so they're gonna kind of slowly build up to it. Maybe the next appearance, he's probably gonna open the Nexus and figure out that it's a superpower he doesn't have or something. The werewolf, however, was the coolest part. The gore was awesome. I personally loved it a lot. It was one of those things. I was like, yes, because he's ripping faces and like cutting throats and stuff. It was something that I was like, yes, yes, and yes, because Moon Knight wasn't even this gory. Werewolf by Night was way more gory than Moon Knight, and Moon Knight is just stabbed a wolf in the heart and that's it. But it made sense because it was in black and white, so you can't see the blood. Which that's kind of what really limits a lot of Disney stuff, is because of blood. And I know it's just like one of those things, but it's just kind of like, also with Morbius too, that movie, Morbius was like just slicing people, and there was like no blood or whatever, and it was just there needs to be like Werewolf by Night, there needs to be more gorier Marvel projects, even though it's owned by the House of Mouse. But yeah, making the characters. Let's talk about that now. So, Werewolf by Night, this guy right here. The reason why I posted these two yesterday is, of course, it came out of nowhere, as you guys can see, because I didn't talk about the characters. I didn't talk about when I was going to post them. I'm going to kind of do that, because it was one of those things at the last minute. Of course, Werewolf by Night. He's absolutely awesome. Custom that I made, which I posted this yesterday because I wanted to use this beard technique. And I said it to you guys in the, there's going to be a Friday special thing, ooh, and with the gift with purchase, with the, just this set, I forget what it's called, but it's this set, okay? This set, which, yes, it's this set, the gift with purchase that I got, and I decided to use this piece because, first off, I didn't know that I was going to get this hairpiece, because I was struggling, because I was sanding hair pieces and I was sanding parts, and I was trying to work for that. I was also looking for Joyce Byers' hairpiece, which I thought that was going to be a really cool fit, and I actually tried it in Mecha Bricks, and it was alright. And of course this beat it, because it's such a cool piece. And of course I saw this and I was like, oh my god, Werewolf by Night. But I sanded the mustache off, so of course you can't put this back on the original character, which I know it is kind of gross and like disgusting under there, but it's alright. The face is probably the part that I'm still iffy about. I need a face that has brown eyebrows, that has like fangs, and I think that will work. The face from Harry Potter, I think will, the face from Harry Potter, like the guy, this face is actually Grip Hook, I think, from Harry Potter. The torso, Wile E. Coyote, arms are brown, reddish brown, hands are reddish brown, legs are dark green. I don't know what the color of his pants were in the thing, but I just went with that. And of course, he looks really cool and awesome. Now, Man-Thing. Man-Thing is actually a really cool character because I built him already. Yes, he was in Lego Marvel Collections too. It was awesome. It was so cool. And of course, if you want to know which part, because of course it's a 4-hour video, it's literally as long as the Snyder Cut, probably longer. But if you want to know, it's the very last character that I talk about before Stan Lee. And it's funny too, because at the time I thought, like, I knew who Man-Thing was always from Lego Marvel Superheroes. He was a bad guy that you fought. He was so cool to fight too. And it was the part when Ken used him for the Nexus multiverse, which it was cool. And that's what his point of it is, for Chronopolis, which that's what his whole stick is. And of course, not that much has changed from Lego Marvel Collections. Of course, this is a completely different figure than my post, and Lego Marvel Collections 2. Those two are completely different because Lego Marvel Collections, which I might put a photo up here, had just Mini Superheroes Today eyes. They had the just plain clear eyes, which I thought that was cool originally, but it always looked awkward because he doesn't have any pupils. And in the show, he has in the special, he has pupils. So I got this guy's idea. His man thing, his is actually pretty cool. I just think it's too bulky and big. But of course, I went for his eyes, which are the Shadow Realm. It's the Attack on New Asgard set. That's where I got these eyes from. And they work really well. So what I changed is I went on Mini Superheroes Today Man thing, which I'll put a photo up here again. His is alright. I know he says it in the video, he's not a really big mock creator, and I am not too, and I'm still not good at it. And I'm creating big giant things like Kingpin and MODOK. Those are my personal favorites. However, I have made some, like I tried to make a minifigure big scale version of Colossus in the comic books. That didn't work, and I'm still also trying to get down the big fig type-esque for this, which Man Thing was actually one of the most easiest probably to do, other than, like, he was the easiest, which is crazy because this doesn't look really easy. It's pretty easy though if you really break it down step by step. It's basically building it from the ground. So I did talk about this, I think, a little bit in Lego Marvel Collections. I'm gonna kind of just breeze through him. He is basically laid down on ball pins, ball joints. As you guys can see, he has some ball joints right here, here. They're the I think they're the 1x2 ball joints. They're these ones right here, but just with the ball on the end of it. And I did that, and I used I think it was I don't know, but I used a long brick, and just went with that, and long plate, and then just did that. Of course, pretty cool. This leaf piece, once again, also still won't go away. However, I think it works really well, so I'm not gonna get rid of it. The legs are the same from the build. I didn't change anything. I like the design of it. Maybe in the future I'll change it. And once again, every leaf I put at the back. I can never keep it in here, so yeah, that sucks. But the chest is what changed. So originally he had a little, which I always got confused. He had one of these, which was just right here, and it looked like one of his tentacles coming down. So what I decided to do is use this leaf piece, put it at the front on the same piece. So it's the same chests, but I decided to put that on. And then I used Mini Superheroes Today idea, which was great, and I needed something to cover up the sides. I decided to take, and at the time I didn't have these, I decided to take Groot's vine pieces and go on the back and also replace the studs too with 2 brown studs with holes in them. And I decided to put one side and then in the other side as well, and wrap it all the way around onto his actual like chest and stuff. So I think it looks actually pretty cool. On the front has the tendrils. Also, this doesn't come off anymore because I put a green stud with a hole in it. The top I'm also still not a fan of because I can't do a smooth effect, because his face, he's like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. His whole, like, he's like this, and then his face is like right here. So he has big shoulders and a big back. So it's like building something that's slouching at the front, and his face is right here. So it's a really hard design to do. Of course, I think I did a pretty good job at it. I tried to put slopes, and I still have them on my desk of what I tried to do. But it didn't work, and I just didn't go for it. The hands, I got rid of these side builds, which, of course, if you look at my other one, and in Lego Marvel Collections, me trying to move him, his arms were just so fat. And I did the same design for the sides of the legs, which is right here. This is how big the legs are, which if you do that, that's kind of skinny. So I decided to go for one of these pieces at the front, and it looks more bulkier. However, I did that for the arms as well, and it didn't need it. So I just put a tan brick at the bottom to replace it. And on the other side, they still use the same thing with the flame piece in green. I still like that a lot. And 2 green tendrils again. And then on the back, we have his leaf that connects just by a stud. And it comes off really easily. This is his original backpack piece, but you can't really do any good job. They're going to fall off. I think this one's actually kind of better, if I'm being honest. But nah, I don't like it. It's too big, so I just decided to go for a little thing back here. I kind of just was like, whatever on the back, because this is like the ground. This is where I was building it from. But Man-Thing, I am so happy, because originally Man-Thing, I only made him because I was trying to literally make every character from Lego Marvel Superheroes 2. I tried to make every Marvel character, and Man-Thing was one of them. And I'm so glad I did, because I probably would have been, the whole weekend, I probably would have just tried to build a Man-Thing. And I'm so glad I already got it done out of the way. Because, of course, now I can post photos quicker and stuff. And now he's actually, like, popular. Because originally when I did this, there weren't that many Man-Thing posts. And now there's, like 4 new ones that I've seen. Because, of course, he's in the TV special. So, Elsa, where is she? I didn't make her because I didn't have time. I didn't want to. And, yeah, so overall, these figures are actually really good. I'm pretty proud of them, and I hope that you guys like them too. And I think he turned out really cool. From the front, it looks kind of strange because of the sides, like his whole, like it's just a strange build. But it's really cool to have in my collection now with my Werewolf by Night figure. Of course, I might come out with a video talking about all my brick built characters. But the ones that I do have and am proud of is Khonshu, and Kingpin, MODOK, my Japanese Spider-Man robot. I'm also proud of a lot of figures. Name in the comments below, because I actually am needing a challenge. A Marvel character that is like a brick built or something, and I'll try to build them and maybe do a video on them. And yeah, try to do that, because of course, maybe, who knows, there might be another Marvel character that comes out in the movies or something. But yeah, anyway, that's it for today's video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys later. Peace out and bye.